folks. This video here is going to show y'all what we do behind the scenes. Everything has got to happen. My wife and I are the only employees we have. She'll get out there and put a welding hood on and run a 7018, or she'll have to put an undercarriage underneath the dozer in a heartbeat. We're going to show you the equipment and what all we've done, and just day-to-day operations. I put those weld-on teeth on that thing. Tiger, single tigers, got double tigers on the back. That is the handiest thing. Plus, and I cut that thing and opened the belly up on it so it'll hold a root ball. They're too closed when you buy them. They come out of Wallace Attachments up there in Live. I put those skid steer blades up on the top there. We pop a little tree out of the ground, you can flip that thing over and back drag it. It's kind of two things in one there. It works really good. I mean, it just, if the folks we're clearing land for got medium-sized stuff, that's all we take out there anymore. I don't run an excavator anymore since I got that six. That six is so fast, it does everything for us. Mama drive that right there, and she'll clean up the small stuff, or take a skid steer with a rake on it and clean the small stuff up. But that's that 06 right there, a new rake and spear on it. Old low boy. But we're going to take you back through the shop, the welding shop, fabrication, mechanic shop. I lost half my mechanic shop, had a major catastrophe there. My wife wanted a chicken coop, and we went to buy one, couldn't find a good one. So she's building chicken coops with the intentions they'll last 25 years with insulated colored roofs and cypress wood. And she stays about 3 months behind doing that stuff. But, her nickname's Killer, and she's not violent until it comes to her work ethic. And if you work with her one day, you'll know why. At the end of the day, I nicknamed her Killer because she will wear you out working. Like I said, she pretty much does it all, and she's good looking. So, you can't hardly beat that. We enjoy what we're doing. She runs the equipment. I run the equipment. We haul it. We work on it. It's all in-house operation. We don't farm anything. We need something, we make it there in the welding shop. And we pick out the folks we want to work for. If they're good folks, we do them a fine job. If they're not good folks, we're not going to work for them. It's an awesome luxury to have. Like I say, I'm 70 years old. So anyway, we're going to put blades on this old plow. See the dimples down there on that thing? Those are 3/8 thick, weigh 130 pounds a piece. They $400 a piece. I know that. I figured it up and did some measuring on that old Rome. It's got 5 sheets, 4x8 sheets of 1 inch metal. There's not even any 3/4 inch metal on that silly thing. That thing is unreal. And we're gonna put boards on the trailer and reblade the front gangs. Back gangs are fine, but we run over a lot of heavy stumps and shinry and stuff, so we need good thick blades on the front there for sure. The back blades are fine, like I say. I bought that old trailer because it's 10-inch high beam. It's got electric drum brakes, which you can't hardly find anymore. And we'll put that thing on its nose. That's that 4-inch socket right there for getting them nuts. Those gangs are 2.5 inches axles. The axles are 2.5 inches in that gang. And you can see that bolt right there on the right. I cut it because I got mad at it when I first got the plow, and then I found out that was a $450 mistake, so I got me 2 more bolts and a lesson. But that's how it is sometimes. You can see the old boards on the trailer. They sure need replacing. I've got the new oak boards. Finally got them cut and everything. They 2-inch oak boards and 15 foot long. I'll show you how these folks put that trailer together. I sure agree with that. We're tired of messing with stabbing that tongue on that plow, so I made some dowels. Makes it a little easier to line it up. Like I say, it's me and her. One of us will be running the backhoe trying to stab that thing, and the other one will be trying to stab it, talking bad about the operator, whichever one that is. But anyway, you can see it. We've got one gang out there and got it laying on the ground. We jacked it up and blocked it up and everything. Where we can, keep it up. Like I say, it's about high enough off the ground now. Man can work on it. I can't work on that ground anymore. it's just too tough. But, see, we've got that one jacked up right there, an old trailer. You can see the holes in it and everything. It's in a mess. Anyway, here the gang is laying on the ground. And I'll show you a trick on these Romes. They got a flat spot on the axle. You can heat that nut on that flat spot. And a lot of times, you can't see the flat spot right there. I'll take a picture of it here in a second and show it to you. But you can heat that nut right above that flat spot, and it'll expand it enough. You can see where I heated that one right there. It will expand it enough. Let me get down there on the ground and show you the flat spot here. It's going to take a minute to get on the ground. It'll probably take more than a minute, but I'm sorry about the video. It's hard to get down on that one knee. There's your flat spot. So if you heat that right there on that flat spot and then slam on it with that 1-inch impact, a lot of times you get that nut off, and the advantage of getting that nut off like that is that saves $60-$80 depending on where you buy them. That's what those nuts cost. And I do not want to mess one of them axles up. That 2.5-inch Rome axle, I don't even want to know how much that thing costs. I've never ruined one, but those nuts just grow on there because they stay on there. And the big thing with these is you want them tight. You're not ever going to get them too tight. You see that little gap right there on that end? When they get like that, they get dirt in there. And then if you tighten them up, you got that dirt trapped in there, and you're never going to get them tight because that dirt will grind down and be loose again. Grind down, be loose again. And that's hard on everything. Hard on the bearings. And it'll wallow those dimples out. And you'll have to start buying parts. You can see them old blades there, they scalloped out. And it'd be fine for out there running in the dirt and everything, but we run that old Shinry all the time, and chopping them stumps and that regrowth and everything with it. Some of that old stuff would be 15, 20 foot tall. You need them big, thick 3/8, blades. Plus you lose a lot of weight. Them blades are, they still 35 inches, but they need to replace it for what we do. I have never picked up my torch yet that it doesn't need cleaning, oxygen, or acetylene. I'm about to run out of acetylene here, but I'm going to try it to, so, 60 miles for me to go get acetylene or oxygen, but that's why the old torch ain't got no blue tips on it, but I'm going to heat her up and see if we can't get it off there with that old, I run 180 pounds on that air compressor on the back of that 550. And let's see if I can't slam on this thing enough. I had old heavy diesel shop for 40 plus years, so I've been to a couple rodeos. There is that's Mr. Takahouchi. He helps me all the time. We use him around here. Like I say, it's just me and my wife. And if you tell her to stay back there out of the way, you look up and she'll be out there trying to help Mr. Takahouchi pick those things up. But she got no quit in her. And I sure not complaining about that. But that's how we get them on, strip them old gangs down like that, and then put it in a little hole in the ground when you get ready to load that thing back up. But the big trick to these things is don't grease or oil or WD or anything in between those gangs. If you're going to clean them with water. That dries out. Blow them off of there, wipe them off with a wet rag, but don't put anything that'll accumulate grease in between those, because you want those gangs tight. In the old days, they used to put a 10-foot cheater on there and then take the back bucket, and hit that cheater and tighten it up. I mean, you cannot get them too tight. And if you do that and grease them bearings, so that grease comes out them seals, if you'll keep them greased, them things will run forever. You'll wear them old wear plates out. See that hole in that wear plate? I'm going to fix it for it, put it back together, But that's the advantage. Like I say, we're going to take you through the fabrication welding shop and the mechanic shop and everything. But you see these dimples that are in there. And if those blades will fit down in those dimples and stay tight, you will never have any trouble out of a Rome, man. But sometimes I've had several of them. You'll take them apart, and those dimples will be oblong where they've been run loose, and that is bad stuff right there. You can see that one right there on the left, kind of where that handle is. It's been run outside the dimples. But you clean them old dimples up, wipe them down real good and everything. Scoot them off with a water hose. The water will dry out, and then get them dimples down in there when you tighten. Make sure they're all down in there, and then put that tighten to it, and then you can't hammer on it too much. Anyway, you kind of see how we take it apart and put it back together. We done with that part now. That's enough for that day. We got to put the boards on this thing next. And it's, like I say, and where they did this trailer, I've never seen, never paid no mind. The kids probably been right up under my nose, never have seen it. But they got that iron right there with a piece of angle iron right there, and then they got a piece of angle iron at the front holding all them boards down. I did not have to take a screw one out of this trailer. And always on my low boy, I screw them down. You know, you drill that 2 inch oak. I put 2 1/4 inch oak on my low boys so it'll stand up. Them chickens trying to come help, they always in the way. They scared to death of us. They looking for a treat every time you look up. Anyway, you pick this old thing up with a backhoe and slide them boards up under there, because that is, they're not being screwed down is just a ton better for me. So from now on, when I do a low boy or something, well, I'm probably not going to do it anymore. But a buddy of mine cut them boards. They 15 foot long, 2 inch oak. You see that old tire mashed on that backhoe? Like I said, that's 100 horse, 20,000 pound backhoe. Look at that thing. And it's just picking up half of this plow. And we're going to pick them boards up, Mom on one end, me on the other end. This is our OSHA organized safety program. We do not adhere to any of that, I guess, is the best politically correct way to say that. We've been doing this stuff a long time. But you said old Ray, see it standing up there, it's opened up. And you get a root ball up in there now. And boys up there at Wallace Attachments made that live oak. And for what I want to do, I stuck them with teeth on there, those weld-ons, and then put them shanks on there. And then stood that rake, cut it all the way across top, stood it up there about 6 7 inches so you can get something in it. The belly was too closed on it, you know. It just a lot of times the boys that make that stuff don't use it. It makes a big difference. See them old boards, we get them boards out of there, and we got them out of there now and set that thing back down. And it sure looks a lot better on that side. And about halfway wore out right now. Them boards is heavy, boy. Anyway, we got that. Now we got to do this other side, and we're not going to be dragging that thing around, you know, up and down. We're just going to set it on there, set it off, set it on there, set it off. So these old boards will last more than one lifetime for me, you know. And but I sure like the way they put that thing together with that one piece of iron right there, and one little piece of angle iron at the front, and holds the boards on the trailer fine, you know. I sure like the way they did that. So we'll take you through the old shop here. That's Mama's chicken coop building. She's got Florida chicken coops, and we'll put a link in here. So she builds these things out of extreme duty pressure treated lumber. And she makes them, like I say, with the intentions of them lasting 20, 25 years. That's my little junior starter mechanic set right there. We need a wrench or something. We got that. We got software for Cat, John Deere, Cummins, Detroit, Mack. Like I said, I had a diesel shop all in here. This old fabrication run. Do a little daubing around with the welder and everything, and that's a Miller Sinkerwave 350. I love that thing. Tea with it, whatever, but smooth like butter going. And plasma cutter, no cutting table there and everything. And that's the fan setup I'm fixing to build, and that's the blade that goes on it. You know that if you put, I've run them air boats for, I don't know, 25, 30 years, but you know, if you put that blade on backwards, it'll blow backwards. I found that out. I put a 25 horse Kohler on that thing, and fired it up, and boy, blow good. It just blowed the wrong way. So, you know, them little skinny blades kind of brand new to me, but I learned right quick that I had done it backwards. So we switched that around. Like I say, I've been running them airboats a long time. I've run with Fina and down at Katrina and Ike and all kinds of hurricane stuff. But we go fishing in them now. We strictly saltwater folks. We get out here in the intercoastal stuff, and we fish, and then we got an offshore boat. We go out there and play with that. It's a 496 stroker, 640 horse. I've had rear engine dragsters, airboats, jet. I mean, I've had all kinds of toys, stunt planes, and that airboat just too much fun. That's that old fan all done up. And you see them two tanks on top. I'm kind of like a bass. If something shiny goes by me, I got to bite on it. Well, I needed a couple of tanks. One for the diesel sprayer, so I can spray them debris piles, brush piles. And then one for the Kohler motor. And I saw those on Summit Race, and I thought, man, I got to have two of those things. So I put them up on top so they don't restrict the airflow back there in the back if you can get a fan. You can't push nowhere if you can't get nowhere. But that thing there works really good. You can walk up there with a skid steer, come off of it, and go get on the rake and go around picking up stuff. And let that fan do its thing. Now, idling, it blows where you don't even need to wind it up. It does a fine job. And folks have banded airboat fixing them down there in Texas on the blades. So, but that's Mr. Takahauchi. There's one of her coops. We're going to put you a link up. And she builds them out of Cypress. And you can see how stout they build. Go to her link, look, see. She stays 3 months out, heads up. So, hope you enjoyed the video, folks.